There's also the angle of, people who occupy offices, and it's only because of the fact that they occupy certain offices that they get a national honors. Do you think that should remain the case?
No, there are offices that go with that automatically confer certain honors. And if you look at the history and context of it, the presumption is that when, for instance, an American, a British man is a British official is called honorable minister, or you speak of an honorable member of house, the presumption is that the cleansing process is what brought him or her to that position. Namely, you are a person of integrity, your means of livelihood is known, you are a responsible adult, you're not a mischief maker in society, you've undergone the selection process in your party, you've undergone the election process, and now you're standing in the name of the people, and the people are not saying get away. That's a man of honor. Now that distillation process has gone, and it will be assumed that anybody who occupies such a place of honor is already of this sort of pedigree. So you find that, for instance, the national law is not automatic for every person, like members of us that was in the house, you get this. Well, there are certain national offices that go with some honors. GCON, you cannot finish being head of state and not be GCON. You're Grand Commander. But then, you may perform such natural service of stature that it will be difficult to convince anybody that you don't deserve the highest honor in the land, because you've worked totally in the national interest. Now, if I now focus on your defect of character, you smoke. You smoke, and you have a very big house. I think you're too loud. I forget the fact that 50,000 people are earning salaries because you put your money at risk. That you're running all over the place, not for leisure. That you have a private jet, not because you want to carry your girlfriends around, but because it actually makes you more efficient because of the volume of business you have to do. Now I begin to talk about you. I don't like this. This man is, don't mind him, he's always wearing expensive suits. Now that has nothing to do with the criteria for determining your value to Nigeria.
But what we're looking at is, we seem to have a peculiar terrain here. We keep saying that things over the years, things have gotten bad. Nigeria has everything but leaders. Our problem is leadership. We have all of these cliche terms, as it were, and at the end of the day, we still have a rather robust national honors list. And don't you sense a disconnect, as it were, between the honors list and our state as a nation?
No, what the disconnect I see is between the presumed followers and the reality they represent. We have a dishonest and fraudulent followership. If I met GM here and I don't know...
Not leadership.
No, there is. I'm coming to that. Okay. If I met GM of channels and I don't know what a camera... I just bungle around and all of you are... My good morning, sir. That's what's going to be. Mokwe, if you're made a minister today, and in the next 2 months you're still driving your car, it's your friends who will call you to tell you you're a disgrace. And one of them comes, okay, please, can you help me? I need 5 million naira to start a business. And you bring it out and give him or her. We'll not ask you where did it come from. The expectation is that you begin to make deliveries from the same sources they are saying people are looting. So let's accept the fact of our limited political maturity, the absence of a cohesive civil society that is capable of taking clear, firm, irreversible positions. Not the ones that will come and attend a rally and clap, as they clapped Ghani to death. Nobody I know has been so forthright, so selfless, so committed to the people. And not just by speech making, but by actually taking government to court consistently and securing judgments that are landmark constitutional judgments, as Ghani. He contested elections. If all Nigerians had voted for him, and then he wasn't sworn in, there would have been riots. People voted for Abiola, that's why they rioted. So, because you raised the issue of leadership. So, the crisis of followership itself, you can see how it doesn't strengthen even leadership. But again, the responsibility of leadership is not to cry about the absence of followership, but to set standards, and that's why there are institutions of state. With set standards, nobody is to go out through this door. Anybody who goes out gets apprehended. There are people who will cut corners. But there is a consistent pattern of apprehending people. The percentage of those who will be tempted to misbehave will keep dropping. Look at Lagos State. When I was teaching in Unila, I lived in Lagos here. I taught in Unila, I worked in the Guardian and all the rest of it. The only way you could survive in Lagos at that time was to learn how to behave badly. And it was very difficult for me. So it's a relief. I fled Lagos. The time I came, the first time I saw the transformation, we were coming from the airport, I thought something had gone wrong. That road going to the airport through Sheraton. First, where did they get the land to widen it like that? How could it be so smooth, etc.? But if Fashola had come in as governor, made all the pronouncements, and then there's no enforcement, and there are no clear rules, it will still be the old Lagos. So leadership is also an issue. That the leader who takes a stand remains on his own course and begins to deal and deliver examples, sets new standards.
How can we take away the controversy so that, you know, over the years it would seem that a national honors list comes up and we have to talk about it because, you know, there seems to be some buzz. Is this just created by the media, or there truly are issues?
Oh, there are issues
with the national honors list.
There have been issues with the national honors list. There have been issues with the national honors list, and it's not peculiar to us. The point is, if we choose not to talk about it, we complicate our lives and that of those we say are leaders. Because one thing about leadership is, the higher you go, the more dependent you become. If I'm at head of state today, I'm not going to know what's going on in Oshodi Market, Oshodi Bus Stop. Somebody needs to tell me. If that person is lying to me, that's I will rule you with lies, or I'll govern with lies. You know, so where help will come from is from debates like this. Get those who agree, who think all is well, take their position. Get those who think everything about it is hopeless, take their position. Because in the absence of that engagement, first the people in government will become complacent, and their good intentions, if uncriticized, they may not know where to improve from. And if you take only if you then keep quiet, oh, you know, we talked about it last year, no. A consistent cleansing. If you look at the political process, 1999, the quality of people who came in 2003, by 2007, even those who rigged and came in, the bulk of them were removed by the courts. The next set, so I see a progressive cleaning up. But the assumption and expectation is that of a radical flick the switch transformation. Where will you get the people from? So I think we'll have to get there, but that the discussion must keep